What's up, people? What's up? It's me, El Teddy 27 again, and this is Angry Teacher Chronicles. I'm going to do a quick review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Um, yeah, and let me preface by saying I'm going to do everything I can to keep this under 30 minutes. It was a lot. It was 2 hours. I don't think it had to be 2 hours. And let me preface by saying that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, to me, of all the Love and Hip Hops, has always sat as the franchise. Um, that's the franchise edition of Love and Hip Hop. It is the one where, from if you look at the numbers, Mona makes most of her money off of Atlanta, which is why I think they probably tried to do the 2 hour thing. I don't think it quite worked. I think it was too much. That coupled with the Miami reunion at the end, the second part of the Miami reunion. I think that the last season was not good. And I think they've been trying to rebound since Jocelyn left. And as much as people hate Jocelyn, you need the villain. You need the antagonist so that people can hate that person. Hate usually triggers numbers in terms of watching. So, and I don't think they've quite bounced back since Jocelyn Hernandez. And I see Mona trying to change up a couple things. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'll talk about one of the blaring changes. But I think one of two things is happening right now with the whole Love and Hip Hop franchise. I think either it's shifting from Atlanta being the flagship franchise to Hollywood being more of the flagship franchise, or the Love and Hip Hops are kind of phasing themselves out and they're running their courses, and it may be time to move on with them or find newer ways to do that. But I do think that Atlanta has fallen off a little bit. All right. So I'm going to try to be as quick as I can. And I just wanted to put that out there and preface by saying that. So we start off with, what was first in the controversy. They talked about Stevie J. He goes to the Soul Train awards with his new wife Faith. Talked about them getting married. We knew that. Da 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 da. The only thing that I took away from that is I would like for him not to have said that, oh, me and Biggie were really good friends and so now I married his wife. Because the way I feel, my friends cannot marry my ex. I'm sorry. I don't care if I'm dead and gone. Bitch, I'm haunting you from the grave. If you are my friend and that is my ex, and you know that's my ex, you do not have the right to date them. And I might be wrong in my thinking, but that's just where I am on it. Get over it. If you are my friend and watching this, you already know we ain't about that fuck shit at all. I'm just saying. So that didn't sit well with me. Then we see Spice. I think she's at a strip club or some kind of club. She's at a club performing, kind of doing her thing. And she meets up with some artist developer, Javon, Dewan, or something like that, who tells her, and I think she interpreted it wrong unless they did not show part of what he said. But he basically was saying that, you need to kind of change up your image or whatnot. I don't remember him saying anything specifically about her color or her being darker skinned. He was just saying, you need to change your image, da 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 da. I think she interpreted it wrong, but we'll get there in a few minutes. And then Tokyo is kind of, on her behalf said, you need to get the fuck out of here with all of that. She is who she is, da 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 da. And I see both sides. I do see to a certain degree, there are certain aspects about who she is that she needs to hold on to because that's what made her who she is. But at the same time, she has to understand that if she's trying to market herself to a new audience and she's asking people's advice or for help, then she needs to be open to listen. and I don't know that she is. Um, then we get to the whole Mimi drama, her calling 911. Somebody tried to steal her car, and they were inside the car. They shot at her and her daughter was upstairs. Um, and then it went to a commercial break. And the only reason I mentioned again commercial break is because I got so much life out of the commercial for Snoop and Martha Stewart's potluck challenge or whatever it is. Because listen, I don't care who you are. When you hear Celine Dion belt out, "You're here," when you hear her belt that out, there's nothing. Listen, you can't not like that part of my was on, and it just gave me so much. I really love that. You gotta love Celine Dion. I like sing whore, sing heifer. I love Celine Dion. She was singing. She was singing. All right. So back to Love Hip Hop Atlanta. All right. So Mimi. She goes out with the girls. She was with Rashida and Carly Red, and we see that Erica Dixon is back. And I think bringing Erica Dixon back help both Mona and Erica were trying to help out each other. Erica, I guess, found herself out of the limelight a lot and maybe needed a few coins. The coinage was depleting, and so I think she found herself. Wanting more spotlight and wanting probably some of that coin that Mona can offer too. So, and I think Mona wanted to bring Erica back to try to, recapture some of the stuff that they had when Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was really big. And so I think that's why she's on. But so far, from what I seen this first episode, I'm just like, you could have stayed away, Erica. It's nothing that, we'll see. But what I took from that is she was talking about the shooting and everything, and what I took from that is Eva was in the house, and Eva's a young child, and having to experience that, I really think that it would be a good idea if Mimi took Eva to get, just to talk to someone, get some counseling, to just get her feelings out there to a professional so that she can wrap her hands around and grapple with this whole incident, because it was a serious incident for a child to go through. And you kind of see that when Eva meets with her dad. So then we got Scrap. Now, this is what I'm going to scrap DeLeon, who came back. DeLeon, whatever his name is. He's released from jail. He goes to a halfway house. Now, this is what I'm going to say about Scrap. Stevie is on his way out of the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta edition, in my estimation. He's moved from Atlanta. I think Scrap DeLeon is Mona's attempt to put someone in Stevie's place. He checks all of the boxes. He's younger. Some might argue more attractive. Some from what the blogs and from what people say, he checks the big meat box. I don't know. He is likable. He's more likable than Stevie J. He's not as villainous as Stevie J, and you kind of want to root for him. So I feel like with Stevie J going out, he still kind of has more of a kind of thug and street appeal than Stevie J has. So I feel like Mona is going to use Scrap DeLeon to try to fit into the Stevie J whole character and so forth. And so that's what I want to say about that. Mama D, you see her at the strip club. I don't want to see a 55-year-old woman strip at all. Listen. She was twerking and her rolls were twerking at the same time. I mean, boom. Please let it go. Let it. KK was talking about being upset that they wouldn't let nobody go and see Scrap. KK, your entire family are criminals. Obviously, no, they don't want you to go see them. Hey, let it go. You raised criminals. You're a horrible person. I'm just saying. All right. So next we see Mimi. She's at home with Carly. And she's talking to Carly about everything. And Carly says, "Oh, you can come stay with me." No, girl, ain't nobody coming to stay with you, Carly. Let that go, okay? Carly talks about being engaged with some guy that she met only 5 hours ago. No, not 5 hours ago. 5 months ago. But it seems like 5 hours. And you know that, first of all, we already been down this road. We already know it's not going to work. Carly is not serious about getting married. Not if you're marrying somebody who you just met 5 months ago. And to me, anybody who marries somebody who they just met that long is not really serious about marriage. They're serious about the image of being married and what comes along with that. But they're not really serious about meeting someone. Get you a little blow up doll. They got the little doll, the whole human male dolls that get hard too. You can buy you one of those, Carly, and lay up in bed with that, and robots and whatever they got. Anyway, moving on from that. Where was I? Oh, Tommy got arrested. I could care less. Tommy came on. We saw she got arrested. Okay, girl. Bye. Next one, because I don't have that kind of energy for Tommy and her brand of tomfoolery and fuckery. I mean, her level brand of fuckery, Tommy. Just I can't care. I can't care. Then we see Stevie checked Eva out of school and took her out to dinner, or to lunch or whatnot, and was talking to her about everything. So many things wrong with this. First of all, I do think he should have stood by what he told Mimi he was going to do. If he said he was going to meet up with Mimi, and so Mimi can talk to Faith and so forth, then I think that's important, because Faith is going to be around Mimi's child, and I think she is owed that before you introduce Eva to her. I also think that Stevie was out of line when he asked Eva to move to California with him, and Eva checked him. Eva said, "Wait a minute, we got to talk to my mom, the one who raised me." Shade. It's your own daughter shading you, bitch. I was like, yes, Eva, yes. Girl, she was shading that person who took care of me, bitch. That's who you need to be asking. Yes, Eva. So that was that. I think Stevie was all out of line. We'll get back to Stevie in a moment. Spice, and you see her next. She's on the phone with her son. And what I don't understand is, it's just not adding up for me. When you brought your black ass the fuck over here, Spice, from Jamaica, okay? When your stinking ass came and you applied either through immigration or getting a visa, part of applying to come over to the United States should have been, hey, I have 2 children and I'd like for them to come over with me. Because you telling me that your children are over living in Jamaica, which is not a first world country. I'm sorry, Jamaica is a second world country at best, and I think it might be third world, but it's a second world country at best. And you over here in Atlanta living it up, going out to parties and club or whatever, and I know that might be a part of your job or what you're trying to do to market yourself as an artist, but hey, you have to make room for these people that you brought on this earth. Period. That comes with it. You should not have had them. And I think that, I don't care how many of these crocodile tears you try to cry for me. Oh, I miss my children and they miss me. Because your son was right. Why you got to be over there and they over here? Because you over there living in what seems to be a very nice house. You over here going out, and your children need to be a part of that. Period. There's nothing, and y'all can comment or whatever, but there's nothing she can tell me. I need explanations on that. There's nothing you can tell me as to why your children can't be over here with you. Now, unless she explains that I couldn't get enough visas for my other 2 kids, unless that's the part that she's not explaining with immigration, and she has not said that. So I just don't think that that's why her kids are not there. I think she just doesn't want to raise kids right now, and she wants to focus on her job, and you should have thought about that before you had children. Period. Moving on. Carly came to her house, And she started complaining about, oh, I'm crying because I'm a single mother. No, you're not a single mother. Your mother's a single grandmother. Well, she may not be single, but your grandmother is the mother. You are nothing right now. I'm over her. I'm so over her. So Eva was at home. We next to Eva at home with Mimi, and she tells her mom that she met Faith and that Stevie asked her to move to LA with him, and of course, Mimi is upset. She's real upset. And so then we get to Scrap being able to get out of the halfway house because KK magically found this half sister that he had never heard about and never knew, and she doesn't have a record, and that's how he's able to get out. Child, honey, boom, boom, honey. Honey, boom, boom, honey. I can't with KK. I just can't. I can't. Mm-mm. Then the whole Spice in whiteface, I guess we'll call it. She's, I guess, airbrushed or painted herself to look white with blonde hair and so forth for this photo shoot or whatever she's doing. A mess. A complete and utter mess. And Rashida came and Mimi came, and it is it just blows up. She tries to tell Mimi, oh, you don't know what it's like to be black. It's just a mess, a complete and utter mess. And as much as she's saying that, oh, there's this stigma with black people and skin complexion, and you're perpetuating that, which it's so many things. And it goes back to the fact that Spice is from Jamaica. And if you know anything about Jamaica, over in Jamaica, that is a big thing. Bleaching your skin over in Jamaica and some of the island countries, bleaching your skin is a really big thing. Like, it's big. That is something that they do. That's a part of, for lack of a better term, that's a part of the culture. I'm not saying everybody down there does it, but what I am saying, if you really go and look and you do your homework, that is, bleaching your skin is a big part of Jamaican culture, and you can go and you can look it up. And so she needs to understand that while that may work over in Jamaica, that doesn't work here. That's not something that I see by and large us here in America doing. And if you are trying to get a foothold on this thing in music in America, then you need to probably let that go. And you're probably going to alienate a whole lot of black people, especially in the culture and climate that we're in right now. So I was with Mimi 100%, 1,000% there. So then we go to hour 2. Dear God, a whole nother hour. So Kirk and Rashida, they went to go talk on this panel with Shekinah, whatever her name is. I'm kind of glad they stayed together because, yeah, I love Black Love. I'm kind of glad they stayed together. Although I don't know if I could have endured what Rashida endured, but hey, Black Love, I'm here for it. Scrap meets with his dad. And I understand how Scrap feels about not really understanding or having no understanding for his dad. But I understand too at the same time that some things you just gotta let go. And I can say that from experience because I grew up being abandoned by both my mom and my dad. I was raised by my grandparents, and at different points in times by my aunts and stuff like that, but mainly by my grandparents. And so I understand how it feels to be abandoned, not by just one parent, but by both parents. And when you become an adult and you're 30, let it go. It is time for you to come into your own. You are the adult now, and you have to live your life. They lived their life. They fucked up in how they lived their life, and so now it's your turn to live your. You gotta let it go. because allowing it to linger and fester. Me, I understand who my parents were. I understand they were fucked up at the time. But guess what I had to do in order for me to be successful and move on with me? I had to let it go. And I think that that's a part of his growth. He's going to have to let that go. Because he's responsible ultimately for all of his choices that he makes at this point. Can't blame your parents anymore. And that's all I'll say about that. Carly is with this Arkansas Mo guy. I just really didn't care. Whatever. That's her new. We don't know how long he'll be on. They're not. The likelihood of them getting married are slim and none, and Slim is on life support. So, not going to happen. Then we see Spice is in the studio talking to some other Jamaican girls or whatever. I'm going to say they're Jamaican. They sound like they had Jamaican accents. But my point is, she's talking about, oh, she wants to be this big artist or whatever. Let me just be honest with you, Spice. Reggae and dance hall, that's what I'm looking for. Reggae and dance hall are really a niche genre of music in America. They're not big. So you could be the biggest reggae and dance hall star. Your ceiling is quite finite. I mean, unless you start to delve more into the pop arena, I just don't see it, dear one. And you want to make it in America, it's not going to happen the way you are thinking, because reggae and dance hall, I mean, just are not that big in America. It's a niche genre. Yeah, there's certain individual songs that'll come out and it'll, get some notoriety, but just as a genre of music, not happening, sweetheart. So you need to let that go. And then we had to have, because in every Love and Hip Hop, you have the what I like to term as the fall the fuck back moment. Like, every Love and Hip Hop episode has a bitch fall the fuck back moment. So we'll call that's what this is. When Stevie J goes his monkey ass the fuck over to Mimi house, we had our epic fall the fuck back moment. Cause I sat there looking like, bitch, fall the fuck back. Like, he was just like, nobody's heartbroken over you, Stevie. Stevie! He's delusional. He's delusional. Then he started talking about, oh, you just mad because I married Faith and not you. Stevie is a asshole. He's so bad. You have to flip it on him. He's an asshole and a whole ass. Okay, he's an asshole and a whole ass. He's all of it. I was like, bitch, fall the fuck back, bitch. Take it back home, run it back, bitch. However you want to say. I'm not here for you, Stevie J. I'm so glad Mimi put him out, because I was like, I can't. I couldn't. Let me go on, because I could go on for hours about that moment. It was, Stevie, you're delusional. He's so delusional. So then we met some chick named Pooh. Now, Pooh, I think, is Mona's attempt to replace Jocelyn as the villain of this show. I see Mona making these attempts to try to get that old thing back, or to make Love and Hip Hop Atlanta what it used to be. And I don't know that it'll work. So the Pooh chick, they were Erica Dixon and Sierra, and Mimi are at her house. She's married to somebody who I don't know, Hiram, or I don't know who her husband is. Obviously, he's famous according to her, or whatever. But when they were talking, I really could care about none of their storylines. I was more enamored by my Twitter blowing up, questioning whether or not this Pooh chick was a transgender woman. And I was like, this is so awful. Like, my Twitter literally blew up. All of my Twitter timeline was like, is she a transgender woman? She's looking real masculine. Oh my God, look at her cheekbones. That's a man. Is she tucking? It was a mess. A complete and utter mess. And I was here for it. I didn't delve into tweeting about it, but reading it just gave me so much life. Alright. So then we got Stevie J with Faith, and they're at the hotel suite. I love Faith for Stevie J because she keeps him sane and grounded and rational. I mean, because he's a mess. He's a mess. So I'm glad to see. Oh, that's a pretty cardinal. It's a bird, a cardinal outside the window. It's really pretty too. Really nice and red. Anyway, next we see Carly Red went over to Sierra's shop, the glam shop, and did what Carly Red does. Just gets all messy, talking about stuff and stirring it up. Actually, Carly Red wasn't messy. I'm sorry. It was Sierra who was messy because Sierra was telling Carly about how Pooh was like, oh, well, I ain't getting no invitation to Carly Red's engagement party, so forth and so on. I was like, whatever. Sierra is drawing that scar. She's gonna do anything she can at this point to have a storyline and to keep herself on the franchise. Moving on from her. So then we got Scrap at KK's house. And Scrap is asking KK about his dad. KK is lying. There is nothing about what KK has said during this whole segment that I can believe. KK is full of shit. KK is a con artist. And that is what she's been her whole life. The sad part about it is you can't let being a con artist go enough to even be honest and truthful with your own children, which is sad. But KK ain't shit. She's another one of them. And the moment that I saw this, she had a moment like I've seen my own mother do. And I know because my mother has abandoned me and my dad has abandoned me. And she had this moment where there was this bullshit ass apology where it was like, okay, I ain't know no better. I did it. I'm sorry. Move on. And it's like no regard for how Scrap may feel or what that might have done. It's just this whole, okay, bitch, I did it. Get over it because I'm your mama and you better get over it. No, boo. That's not how that works. And even when you give that sort of apology, that hurts sometimes even worse than the lies or the deceit or even the abandonment at times, because it's like you negate or you have no regard for that person's, for your child's feelings. And it's just like you are just it's an awful feeling. I've been there. I know what it was because that's the same type of apology that my mom does to me sometimes in my attempts to garner relationships with her. But I don't want to because that strikes a chord with me personally, and I don't want to labor on with that. Rashida and Kurt are having this 19th wedding anniversary with all the kids. That little boy need his ass whooped a couple times. He need a little pow here and there. The little cannon guy, because obviously the mama ain't raising him. I think she's too busy trying to run the streets. But whatever. Because from what I understand, the grandmother and great-grandmother are raising that little boy. Which is obvious, because he seems to be out of control. Alright, Mimi then meets with Faith at a restaurant, and Faith is with Mimi. Faith is like, no, Stevie, you should have told her that you were going, that you were going to bring Eva to meet me. You should have honored what you said to her, that you were going to have us meet before you had Eva meet you. And he told her she was wrong now, that he was wrong now. This whole 2-hour stint, I will say, it was a lot of, I just feel like it kind of fell flat for a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season premiere. Like, you want drama. It's like I teach my students in class. When you're learning fiction and literature, you learn that you have to have conflict, because without conflict, you don't have a plot. And without a plot, you don't have a story. You don't have fiction. And that's with all things. You need conflict in order to have a plot. And you need a plot in order to have a story. Otherwise, what are we doing? Why are we here? Why are we watching it? Why are you making us endure these 2 hours? But whatever. And then we get the last scene, I think, was when Pooh went to Carly Red's store. And like I said, I saw it here. This is Mona's attempt to make Pooh into this villain in the sense that Jocelyn was. And I believed Pooh. She started, listen, baby, that woman saw the teacup on the floor and kicked that shit and let the tea just roll all over the floor. She didn't even try to hold the cup in her hand because she knew the tea in there was so dirty and so nasty. Sometimes when there's tea to be spilled, you can't hold that tea in your hand because it's so dirty and grimy. You have to let the teacup sit on the floor and you walk over to that bitch and just kick that bitch over and let it spill all over the floor because you don't want none of that shit on you. And that's what Pooh did. Pooh said, boo, this tea ain't gonna be on me, sweetheart. No, we're not doing that today. We're gonna spill this tea and not a drop of it's gonna get on me. Because you, Carly Red, your expert level brand of fuckery ain't about to put this all on me. And I believed everything that Pooh said. All of the whole seedy and salacious stuff about having threesomes with her husband and everything. That shit was probably 100% true. And you could tell because Carly Red got loud, belligerent, out of control, tried to fight her. And that's the defense mechanism for all of these Love and Hip Hop people when shit goes wrong. And people are telling the truth on them. I see you, Carly. Bitch, you ain't shit. And that was the whole thing. I hope it gets better. From some of the highlights that they showed from this season, it looks like it might be okay. But I'm telling you, either we're going to see the changing of the guard of the flagship franchise within Love and Hip Hop being going from Atlanta to Hollywood, or Love and Hip Hop, the whole franchise may be phasing itself out. Tell me what you think. You can put it in the comments. And, oh yeah, I forgot to say appreciate you to all of those of you for clicking on the video and watching all that stuff. Alright, but I said it. Alright, it's over. Alright, so thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all drive safely.